Vlad TV was catching so much heat and smoke for the disrespect of our FBA lineage that he decided to bring brother TariqNasheed and WillieD on to his platform, to be a shield to stop some of that smoke and heat that he was catching, for calling us FBAs racist and divisive. In that interview he did with Oskino Vasquez for some of our people, boycotting them African businesses. And, while I do respect, brother TariqNasheed and WillieD also, you know what I mean? It's 43 million foundational black Americans, and they don't speak for the entirety of our lineage. You know what I mean? We're a lineage, which means we got our own thoughts, opinions, and views on things. You know what I mean? And I don't, give a damn about Vlad's fake so-called apology. I don't accept it, because Vlad TV has had a long history and track record of disrespecting our FBA lineage. He done this, with Michael John White, putting the brother on the spot, and misrepresenting what FBA lineage means, talking about it's divisive, it's separating black people, it's an online group, this, that, and the other. And he done it with Oskino Vasquez, talking some, us boycotting African tether business owners for they FBA disrespect is divisive, this, that, and the other. Vlad TV is just, ain't nothing more than a racist white supremacist, if you ask me, who continually puts his nose and affairs into black business and issues, you know what I mean? And Vlad TV ain't no good for, FBA society. He fans the flames of beef, constantly stirring up things and creating nonsense, you know what I mean? And then when the going gets hot for him, he wants to bring on, brother TariqNasheed and WillieD to, dissipate that smoke he was catching, you know what I mean? And damn that, why I say I do like brother TariqNasheed and also WillieD, and TariqNasheed is one of the biggest, advocates of lineage-based, justice, so I respect that aspect. But like I said previously on the video, I don't think no foundational black American should be going up there supporting, Vlad TV. Like I said, he's got a long history and track record of FBA disrespect. He said things and disrespected and lied on Minister Louis Farrakhan. Although Minister Louis Farrakhan, ain't FBA, he's still a rider for the black community. You know what I mean? And, Vlad TV also, said that reparations should be, schooling, and that if FBAs get reparations, we have misused the money, this, that, and the other. And who the hell is Vlad to be pocket watching, our reparations? If it was a foundational black American brother and sister and them roles were reversed and that shoe was on, the other foot, and FBA says something, that Jewish people, which is Vlad's community, are racist, divisive, this, that, and the other, Vlad would have had a whole hissy fit and pulled that anti-Semitic card, which he's done in the past. And, if you ask me, brother TariqNasheed and WillieD, although I respect them brothers, this is just my personal take on the matter. They were out of pocket and out of order for going to Vlad TV, because what this says in the white supremacist mindset, such as Vlad, is that I could say anything about, FBA lineage, and then I got, them coming onto my platform, I got them eating out of my hand right again. I could say anything and do anything to these Negroes and still have them eating out the palm of my hand. You know what I mean? And it reinforces, a false sense of, that Vlad is needed in his mindset, to the black community. The black community need him, that any, place of prominence and prestige that we get to, in that entertainment industry got to be done through him, so it just reinforces, negative stereotypes that, black people need him. And this reinforces the psyche of a white supremacist such as Vlad, you know what I mean? So I don't rock with Vlad in any way, shape, form, and fashion. And, although I respect the brothers TariqNasheed and WillieD, I don't think they should have went up there, because, it just, when people do things that come at our lineage wrong, and we got to stop, supporting these people. I say that, and I said this on a previous video, that we should be boycotting Vlad. I personally, have been boycotted Vlad and stopped, partaking in his content. Ever since I seen that, he was putting out, negative, stereotypical things about black people, showing the underbelly of black society, constantly fanning the flames of beef. And we got to work to, push guys like Vlad TV and Adam 22 outside of, the culture, not continually keep them around, where they can fester and feel that they entitled to speak on black business and issues. You know what I mean? Because if the roles were reversed, and like I said, the shoe was on the other foot, and the FBA was speaking truth to power on, Vlad, his community, Vlad would have had a whole hissy fit and pulled that anti-Semitic card. So I got the audio and the video of, Vlad using TariqNasheed and WillieD as a shield, to give a fake apology, and we're gonna walk through and talk about it. But if you ask me, Vlad could have kept that sorry ass apology. Fair use.
All right, here we go. TariqNasheed, welcome back to Vlad TV.
Back, yes, indeed.
This is not a total surprise because this kind of came together based on some comments that I made about foundational Black Americans and some of the situations that are happening right now with like a boycott with African hair shops and so forth. And I made some comments. I just want to apologize for the comments that I made. At the end of the day, I felt like it was coming from a good place, but I'm not Black. And I think I overstepped my bounds.
As you do sometimes.
As I do sometimes.
Yeah.
And Vlad knows good and well what FBA is. It's a lineage, but he continually, has had a long history and track record of disrespecting our FBA lineage. And he does this, purposely. This ain't no damn mistake if you ask me. So he could keep that damn sorry ass apology in my book and opinion, but let's continue.
And my man WillieD actually called me up. And during the course of the conversation, I said, well, who would be a good person to get into this conversation was my man TariqNasheed. In terms of the FBA guys that I know, he's the biggest one, and he's a regular guest on the show. Matter of fact, let me call up Willie real quick. Let me get him on the phone. Hold on a second. Willie, hold on one second. I got Tariq right here.
What's up, Will?
What's up, Tariq?
How you doing, bro?
Shit, I can't call it. I might start.
There it is. Like you out there exercising.
No, man, I'm just in the backyard.
Okay. Cool.
Should turn the volume a little bit?
Turn the volume. Okay, yeah. So I'm here with Vlad. Vlad wanted to give you a call real quick. Okay.
Yeah, what's
So yeah, Vlad was saying that he was making comments about the lineage, and y'all corresponded, and you said that it would be a good idea for him to kind of reach out to me and get me in the conversation.
That was actually my idea.
It was your idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was my idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And I concur.
Okay. Okay.
You got a lot of knowledge about this. What I was telling Vlad is that I understand both sides. I personally don't believe that we're going to be as successful as we want to be if we don't figure out a way to come together. And that's not.
And I ain't gonna play too much of this because I don't want to get copyrighted. But the long and short of it is, WillieD said we need to come together, to ultimately, get our goals, man, and for it to be, us to come together, and that's the way we're gonna get more things done, and although that's WillieD's standpoint, I got a different standpoint because what's the sense of, coming together with all of these other groups of Black people if everybody ain't on code? They're just going to hinder and stagnate, FBA progress. So that sounds good in a perfect world, but, I see things a little bit different. And, Vlad went on to say that he spoke, out of turn and out of pocket, which he did, but he continually, got a bad habit of doing this. And I feel that Vlad TV is deliberately doing this. He knows good and well what, FBA lineage is, and he continues to disrespect it because he feels that he got a free pass to doing so. And, FBAs continually going up there to Vlad TV's platform, it reinforces, his white supremacist mindset that Black folks need him to come to a place of prominence and prestige. But in closing, if you ask me, Vlad TV, could have kept that sorry ass apology because I don't forgive him one bit. He's got a long history and track record of, disrespect towards our FBA lineage. So he could miss me with that. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.